think what I'll do now, man, I'm going by this fast. So what I'm gonna probably do is actually first off, is everyone in Roll20?
I am.
No, I
So
have the whatchamacallit up. The
Demiplane?
thank you. That thing.
yeah. So
Hmm.
Demiplane is mainly for character creation. The main thing is Roll20 is going to be where a lot of the maps, the tokens, the visual part of it's going to be. But Demiplane was to help you make your character, and hopefully everyone's kind of got a reasonable idea. If there is any like final changes, this is probably the best time to do it. Because we're mainly just gonna go through what to expect during this campaign, and then what we'll probably end off with a prologue to Witherwild. And what I would like to start off with is everyone's characters. While everyone is still joining in.
Before we get into the characters, I'm in Roll20 now. I just need to know where I need to go to find the game. Is there a link somewhere I missed?
I put the link to join in the general chat of Daggerheart
chat.
because
Gotcha.
yeah. I know I kind of got lost in the other chat.
The one way
So,
at the top, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah.
it's
All right,
way at
good.
the top.
Yeah, I haven't made a backstory for my character yet because I wasn't sure of the setting and everything.
No worries. I won't lie. I wasn't sure what the setting was. I was going back and forth between do I do the normal Witherwild or do I do my homebrew idea? And so the difference between the two is what I ended up doing is I wanted orcs to be more prominent, but they're not like lack of a better word, World of Warcraft orcs where they're just like all about tribal tribal dominance. I wanted it to be more like they've kind of evolved since the primitive times and they got somewhat sophisticated and have entered into a higher class society in a way. And they've
So, like,
made
Elder Scrolls orcs.
I think so. I actually don't remember orcs in Elder Scrolls. I played a little bit. I actually been playing through Oblivion.
Really?
Yeah. 'Cause,
I need to. I've put over 2,000 hours into Skyrim.
yeah, it's been a while for me. I played it when it originally came out. I just didn't touch it. I was mainly playing with friends, so that's why.
Mm,
I mean,
But
to be
yeah.
fair, in that setting, orcs are technically a race of elves.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So similar to Lord of the Rings. Like because I think in Lord of the Rings, orcs are technically mutations of elves. If I remember correctly. Quote me if I'm wrong, you know.
Shit, I love Lord of the Rings, and you wouldn't catch me knowing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds right, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
They're elves that horrible things have been done to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I remember something about that. It's been a long time since I've watched the movies.
They breezed over it in the movies.
They did breeze over it in the movies. It's
I need to read the books, honestly.
Yeah, you really do. I do. I never read the books. I just my friend loves Lord of the Rings, so we always get together and watch the extended version of it because you can't watch it any other way. So my point being, they're very so they've kind of evolved a little bit from primitive, and they've developed along with elves a super weapon that um do, that has been capable of doing mass destruction. And I've kind of referenced this from something from like One Piece and the Poneglyphs and like the Pluton weapon. That's kind of what I referenced from.
I really wish I knew what you were talking about.
I'm sorry.
What, you
No,
don't
it's
want to watch
fine.
all 900 episodes
I'm
of One
probably
Piece?
Well, to be
Like-
fair, you only have to watch the first 150 to get that one. um, so
Okay.
that's the thing is though it involves technology. That was the big takeaway from that, and I wasn't sure about that considering Witherwilds is very non-techno.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking of, right, is doing something similar to like Final Fantasy VII, and I know Final Fantasy VII is still technically like a modern setting, more closer to tech, but the idea philosophy is that the technology is destroying the planet, and the Mako is kind of radiating the Earth, right? Well, that's technically what the Wither is doing. The Witherwild, or no, it's called Withered. Um, it's plaguing the land, and it's like steeping um into the forest, into everything, and it's mutating creatures and environments that otherwise would be normal everyday creatures. I mean, I guess for example, like your golden eagle would be like this weird mutation of
Yeah.
like
I was gonna ask if you wanted me to make my golden eagle mutated.
um I think that would be uh a great story beat for like
Okay.
a later session.
Okay, so have it mutate later in the session, later
Yeah.
in the story.
Yeah, because the way uh this corruption kind of goes is that it's continuous, and like there's instances in here that implicate that like I'll be able to do major events, and that could be one of them. It can be like a good um way to dictate the story to this specific thing. um so yeah, this is what I mean. I've been going back and forth because
Oh, I
have
understand.
I have a lot of things I have that could work, but I also want to kind of respect everyone's opinion on doing Withered Wilds as it is. So I'm trying to keep it all together. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the number
My
one
main.
thing,
Oh, sorry.
it's fine. I just wanted to say once you do get in, once you're able to get into Roll20, make sure to link uh your characters through Demiplane into Roll20. I see Aethera has already done that. You still need 5 other people.
Yeah, for some reason I'm having a problem loading it. Seems to think that my hardware acceleration is not working, which it is. And
yeah,
So
no worries.
how do I do that?
So to do that, you're gonna go to so you see
The compendium?
yeah, or no, you want journal. So the journal is gonna be that like book with like it looks like it's kind of glowing.
Uh-huh. Oh, link demiplane character. There we go.
Yep, there you go. And then you may have to sign in and just load in
I
your
see.
character you want to play as.
Okay.
it just got in. Okay, a second.
And I know
There it
I've
is.
kind of I won't lie, it's been feeling rambly. Is there any questions? so far?
No, this is just my first Daggerheart anything. I mean, I've watched a few videos online about it, and
I haven't even watched any videos.
yeah, Blackbeard and I have been chatting about it quite a bit, but played a lot of D&D, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, I literally, I'm just gonna experience it via osmosis, and so I don't have any questions right now. Just trying to take it all in.
Okay.
Well, this will
Oh,
be
I
my
need to
fourth
update my
game if
character.
you need help between
Okay.
now and then.
Cool.
I'm
Okay,
still
sounds good.
trying to figure out. I know I had seen that journal thing somewhere. I'm trying to find it again.
Third top.
It's in the top right.
Okay, now.
So was it through that shared link at the top?
It
The
should be in Roll20. It should be journal with it's a book with like kind of sparkly. It almost looks like it's a rare item, sort of. But and then you have character, handout, and add. If you do the drop
There
down,
we go.
with
okay,
character,
I see.
yeah, you can link your demi playing character.
Alrighty.
It's doing the syncity sync.
Yeah, and it may take a moment. No big deal. Gosh, because I have a lot of characters. Out of curiosity, did anyone make secondary characters?
No.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I didn't say to. I was just like, I see a bunch of characters, and I was just curious.
The DM says it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't
mention
anything.
I was like, should I be
Like-
concerned?
So, in my career as a dungeon master, I have hardly killed anybody. I've killed 2 players, and it was kind of a weird kill, and I don't necessarily like it. So what happened, right, is I told everybody that this next session, I want everyone to be here. I want everyone to be on time, because what happened is that they fell through the floor. So what I did, right, is anybody that didn't show up was killed.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Bro.
So that's how I killed 2 people. But I haven't there has been several times where I gotten really close, but it just didn't seem fair. And I'm like, this actually, Daggerheart's kind of a way to kind of rein that in for myself, to kind of see if I can do a bit better of a job to provide a better balance, because I felt like I was just either overkilling or not killing enough. And
Yeah. And then you also want to give characters a good death.
Exactly.
And if it's
I wanted
spontaneous, it's harder.
Yeah. So like yeah, when it comes to player kills, it's kind of rare for me. But I will try my best.
I will try my best to kill you.
I'll try my best to kill you in the best way possible.
Exactly.
Just don't piss off the GM.
Yeah. Also, I am so sorry. Elftistic. Are you autistic? Because if so, twins.
I am actually, yeah.
Let's go. It's been on my mind for days.
I don't know if you can see it, but the avatar I have is Furin, and she collects spells. I just assume she's autistic.
Okay, I'm just saying. Have any of y'all watched the original Lilo and Stitch movie?
I have. Yeah.
I am
I haven't.
85% sure Lilo has autism. I'm just saying.
Probably. I actually didn't guess that from your name, though. I thought it was just another way to say fantastic.
That's actually amazing.
um,
Elf-tastic.
Speaking of that, actually, I think now's the time where we introduce ourselves and your characters.
Let's go.
I guess we'll start with Discord list. We'll start with Admiral.
Hello, I am Admiral Blackbeard. My name is Cody. I am from Georgia. Um, I
W.
what is that?
I'm right above you.
Oh, really? Where you at?
West Virginia.
Oh, okay. I'm 41 years old. Um, Wife, 2 kids. Boy and a girl. I've been playing D&D for since 3.5, somewhere around there. 2002, I think it was. Um,
I didn't
so
mean.
off and on. I mean, not completely straight through, but off and on, yeah. And just excited to be here.
Let's go.
My
Chillin'.
character, I forgot. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm playing Baron. Everybody calls him Bear. He is a giant, stalwart guardian. He is about 6'9", 400 pounds, and he has a pet pig named Hammy. he he carries a oversized cleaver as his main weapon. He is a cook slash butcher by trade. So he's in the kitchen a lot, cooking up stuff. So his primary weapon is this large cleaver, and his secondary weapon slash shield is this gigantic cast iron frying pan.
I love it. I just have one thing to say.
Huh.
Does your so is he a cook?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to know if he says bear with me, but I make the best ham.
So like I haven't. So the Hammy, he saved Hammy when it was just a little piglet. Probably was gonna be sent to the slaughter or something, and he had a little soft spot in his heart for him, and chose to adopt him.
It's awesome. So chillin'. Where are you playing as?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm chilling. 37 in the Texas area. Currently DM for D&D 5e. Played some Daggerheart yesterday. Really enjoyed it. Watched the Age of Umbra from Critical Role, which brought me into really diving deeper into this game. And my character is I'm not sure if you can click on him. His name is Blitz Laferne. He is a 20-ish-year-old ribbit. He is an 80s inspired character with the leaf made backwards hat. He has a one-handed orb that utilizes for his arcanic power. He has a stick and wood driven shield that resembles a skateboard that he kind of uses to traverse different areas, and yeah.
Nice.
I'm trying to get Roll20. So I'm in the Roll20. I can't see anybody else's characters. I can only see mine.
That probably is correct.
Okay.
I think it's
that's the same thing I'm having.
so. I believe you should, and to be fair, it's my first time really using Roll20. This is my second time using it, and I've just never haven't mastered it yet. But I think what it is that you get access to your player, your character, and you don't see the rest of your party.
Correct.
Okay.
But it's the same thing if you're doing Foundry as well. I mainly run with Foundry, but I haven't found a good way to get Daggerheart on there. Otherwise, I'd probably be using that instead.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, that's just my take. But this
Yeah.
isn't necessarily bad.
I'm in another campaign that uses Roll20, and they have it set up where you can see everybody. So that's the only reason I was confused.
Oh, okay.
That's the only time I've ever used it.
No,
I
that's
usually
fair.
keep secrets about my character on my sheet, so I know
Mm,
every campaign I've ever done, you only see your own characters.
okay. So the other campaign I'm doing must be different then. That's
They probably
funny.
had it set up so that the character sheet belongs to everyone instead. Because there's a setting where you can, if you go into the sheet configuration of who it belongs to and just give it to all players, but then other people can edit it and stuff. That's sometimes not good.
Mm,
Yeah. I think it's because this is just my opinion. Like whenever I make a character for people, because sometimes I'll just make either pre-generated or I talk with them and make their help them make their characters and then upload it to there. That's when it's almost shareable because I just make it easier for people to grab that slot. But I haven't done that with Roll20. I just made it default. Everything here is kind of pretty fresh. But good to know though.
Oh,
Yeah.
you might. I don't know if you're have the Roll20 subscription, but
I
you
do.
may want to turn off the dynamic lighting because it can be really annoying and it can also mess up people's systems if you haven't turned it off already.
I haven't used it.
Okay.
Actually, I take that back. I think I did try and mess with it, but I haven't got it to work the way I wanted it to.
You have to put in light sources and then do all this other stuff and then select each token, see what
Yep, there it
give
is.
them the amount of
Oh,
light they're able to have, and it's not
yeah.
worth it.
No, that's fair. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use it. I've been just messing with it the last 2 days. I would have tinkered with it more. I just didn't have time before this. I am curious. Is everyone see the board in front of them?
Yes.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
it's still like Witherwild background, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like it, huh? It's actually just something I generated with Midjourney, but
Oh,
I
nice.
like I like the aesthetic of it because it does. I'm like, this looks kind of like Wither Wilds to me.
It fits.
Nice. It does.
um, so that was mainly just so you weren't looking at a boring white background. Because I like I said, I got stuff I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to go with the homebrew or normal Wither Worlds. I might end up trying to do a combination of the two. Because it seems
Let's do the
like
Witherwild and throw in some, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever feels like it's necessary.
Natural.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're the DM.
Mm.
Yeah, no,
You
I
are him.
appreciate the confidence. I wish I had such confidence. But uh,
So we have all the
holy crap.
confidence in you because we don't want to do it ourselves.
That's yeah, that's true. I had such a hard time finding a game, and I'm like, as soon as I'm able to GM, it's like, oh, hello, how are you? How's it going? Like, oh, now you're here. Yeah, I get that. I was kind of terrified to run it without actually have run anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but I to be fair, I actually did that with D&D. Um,
Yeah.
I guess before Elf takes her turn, I'll introduce myself. So my name's Vin, and I won't lie, I don't want to say my real name. Uh, but uh, I have been doing TTRPGs and DMing for about a year and a half. Actually, have less experience than probably all of you. But I've recently branched out within the last 6 months into everything from Daggerheart to Shadow Dark to Pirate Borg, um, Pathfinder 2E, and I do still have D&D, but um, I mainly have DM'd for D&D. Had a about 10 session arc. That was um the major length. Um and so some things are probably going to be a little rough around the edges. Um I do feel like it's a bit I feel like I got a little bit of a grasp, but obviously like how this has been going, I do kind of ramble sometimes, and if that happens, I will try and refocus and regather my attention. Uh, so thank you all for being here. Because this couldn't happen without you guys.
Yeah, it takes a lot to DM, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
kudos to you. It takes a ton of time to get everything prepared and
Yes.
whatnot.
We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
um, thanks.
So like
uh,
we were talking about earlier with the Curse of Strahd, I didn't mention I actually play in a Curse of Strahd campaign as well as DM my own Curse of Strahd, which Sax here is one of my players in my campaign as well. And I've put in about 2 years of work into that campaign.
Yeah, I'm actually playing this to get a feel for Daggerheart because I'm about to start writing up my own campaign and I'm deciding whether or not I should write it in Daggerheart or D&D.
Mm-hmm. Go Daggerheart.
Well, my actual first. I'm thinking about it. It's seeming like it's going to be pretty fun, which this will be my first campaign ever.
Yeah.
And I've only ever
Oh,
played
wow.
D&D. So
It
I'm
just
pretty
I
excited.
love it. It gives you
Mhm.
so much more flexibility to do what you want to do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah, there's just not a whole lot of like weird rules around it. It's I I was heard it's described as like not a rules light, but a rules medium. Which is kind of a weird way to say it, because like it's rules light, but it has like structure. Like
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
the rules light games that I've played, they have I feel like they're easier to get a hold of because playing a heavy rules set like D&D and Pathfinder can be daunting because there's so many little mechanics. Like I
I
just
know
got
it's so intimidating for DMing. It's easy to play, but like for Dungeon Master, it's like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
there's
it's
so much stuff.
there is. And that's why I had such a hard time with that campaign. And then like I think my problem was is that I was playing in a module. I played the Shattered Obelisk, and the Shattered Obelisk is basically the starter set to 5th edition. Just so the starter set is the the Fandelver, Die
Yeah,
of Fandelver, I believe, and then the Shattered
Lost
Obelisk.
Mine of Fandelver.
Yes, Lost Mine of Fandelver. And the Shattered Obelisk is like the second half to that. But what I ended up doing is I did the Lost Mines, and then I split off into the Sunless Citadel because that was a recommendation I found that would uh kind of bridge the gap a little bit. But when I did that, I didn't follow that guideline very well, and so it kind of went a little like, oh no. And then that's when I went off the rails and I'm like, okay, this does not work. At least for me. It didn't work for me. I just wasn't really prepared for a really huge commitment with homebrewing. That's one thing to keep in mind with that sort of thing is that it can be very daunting really quickly, especially if you just automatically switch like that.
Yeah.
What I should have done is just stuck with my own like homebrew idea and then like worked off of that. That's actually how my friend did too. He did his campaign by just introducing his world and then expanding outward, which kind of how Shadow Dark does it. It's you expand, like you do one scenario and then you kind of expand outward because it like triggers multiple events. I'm hoping to do Daggerheart like that too, where you do a specific scenario and then it branches off into different things because of like, oh, you pissed off this one kingdom, or you raided this village, or even just the fact of like, oh, you've cleared the land of this corrupted monster, and so now it's starting to heal. So there's multiple different ways you can kind of approach. um I feel like there's at least multiple different ways you can approach this. um so I know I kind of branched off there. Elf, did you want to introduce yourself and your character?
Yeah. I'm 31. I'm from Michigan, and I've been playing for about on and off for about the last 8 years. And I just started Daggerheart last year. When I played the beta. I haven't played since actually. My character is a fawn druid. Her name is Dawn the Fawn. She
Nice.
and I think the most interesting thing about her is she worships a giant tree, and her staff is actually handcrafted from a branch from that tree.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
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 So hi Fry.
You actually mind if I could grab a drink real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
We'll skip over to Sax.
Yeah, I'm Sax. I'm a Jacob, and I'm 45, live in Missouri, and been playing D&D off and on for a very long time. My first quote unquote campaign, it wasn't really a campaign back then, was AD&D by one of my best friend's older brothers back in the I don't know, we were like 8 or something like that. And then second edition after that, played a lot of that in the 90s. Did 3.0 and 3.5 D&D. Played a little Shadowrun. Couple other just oddball ones, and then took a break from D&D for quite a while I was like doing real life, and then came back for 5th edition. Blackbeard and I have been playing in 2 campaigns.
All right, I'm back.
Currently in 1. My character is a purple monkey. His name is Snibs. He's a wizard. Let me get back to my character sheet so I can. Which page had my character sheet?
Wait, your character's name is Snibs?
Snibs.
Yeah.
I know.
Yo. My bird's name was Snips.
Snips and snips.
That's crazy.
It just, it's just like I have like this brain stew page of stuff, and I was going, every time I come up with like a weird name or some idea or something, I write it down in there. And man, I was like trying to find something that fit the
Yeah.
the wizard monkey, and I'm like, there's nothing on the page, and then it just came to me when I was sitting there playing the game, and so that was it. So think of him like I don't know size and heights in general of
You
the
can make it
races,
pretty
so
much.
I'm
what
just
you
gonna
want it
say
to
he's
be.
a smaller-ish type monkey. Think of it more not like a circus clown size monkey, but his attitude is somewhere in between circus clown and old wisdom salt of the world. So
Yeah.
you might get a couple of different variations of him.
My
And
character's 3'11", so they can be pretty short.
yeah, so somewhere around there. Like he's not going to be. I don't know if he'll be that short, but he's not a walking gorilla ape size type thing, right? So
Is he kind of like a monkey Gandalf?
not quite to that extent. Where Gandalf is a little kooky, he's definitely more circus monkey.
I was just wondering because you also chose Wildborn.
Yeah, Wildborn. So yeah, he's spent, obviously spent a lot of time out in the wild, and that's just kind of the life that he's known. But I almost picked the Wanderer or whatever that one was, but I'm like, But he does move.
Wayfinder.
He does move around a little bit. Very interested in the way the world works, and trying to learn new things, which is kind of his thing. And that's really about it. I haven't really done much of a backstory for him because, like, again, I didn't know what we were doing exactly. I'll probably fill it out as time goes on and give him a little bit more depth. But yeah, you might get some monkey grunts out of him. You might get some books of wisdom. You'll never know.
Well, that's actually a good point, though. So I know I kind of didn't I kind of foregoed what exactly this was about. Clearly, because I just didn't know what I was gonna do. But we're actually going to get into that once Fry and Athera do their intros.
Yeah, cool. All right, that's me.
All right. So, my username is HighFriedGGG. It absolutely has nothing to do with drugs. I made the username on the Xbox 360 when I was like 8 years old. I have no idea what it means. My actual name is Tyler Nicholson. I am 19 years old. I have autism, Tourette's, ADHD, and anxiety. So if you see me tweaking out if I turn on my camera, it's because I have Tourette's. I'm not on drugs. It's my character is his name is Toph McTwig. He's Ribbit, Wildborn. Sorry, let me get my character sheet out. Wildborn, Ribbit, Ranger, Beastbound. He has a pet, golden eagle named Snips. I got the name from the Clone Wars because I'm just chill like that.
Nice.
He is no Jedi, right?
Yeah, so right now I'm a ranger. I'm thinking I'm gonna multi-class into a rogue. So I
Mm.
don't exactly know how multi-classing works in this engine, but
You
I
have to wait for level 5, and then
I do.
yeah.
it's gonna
Click
take a
to
while.
wait.
Okay.
I guess I should explain that a little bit. There is, so unlike D&D, there's only 10 levels, which I thought was an interesting choice
Oh my
because
god. Okay.
because like I feel like when you're in a normal campaign in D&D, you really only go up to 12 if you're lucky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you're lucky to finish a full campaign, you'll probably be level 12. Or if your
Yeah.
DM is very generous, he'll try to do the 20 stuff, but
I
no one's brave enough.
I've run 2 campaigns to 20 plus 5 epic, and then been in
Oh.
one campaign that went to 20 and then Pathfinder 10 Mystic.
I'm sorry.
I know, I
I'm
find it fun.
sorry.
It's a fun challenge for me.
That's good. That's good. I I would have racked my brain around that. I'm like, oh, how am I gonna do this? I was struggling with like level like 8s and 10s, but it was my first one, so I wasn't sure what I was gonna pull off. So yeah, Athera. What's your character and introduce
Oh.
yourself?
Well, I am Thera. That is actually one of my names. Um, I am 33, almost 34, in Southwest US. My brain is locking up. I've been playing. First game of D&D. I don't remember if it was second or third edition, but it was 2001. Since then, I've.
Oh, I was just gonna say probably third edition. I know that was when
It's
that came
hard
out.
to say because we just used what books were around.
True, fair. Yeah.
I just know it was not a D&D. Good lord, that mess. But since then, I have played AD&D. Obviously 5e, Pathfinder 1e, Vampire the Masquerade, the Dresden Files TTRPG. What's that one called again? Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, Call of Cthulhu and like RuneQuest or
no, Cyberpunk Red.
Oh, nice. You know, it's funny that you say that because I almost tried to do a Cyberpunk Red like one shatter campaign. I couldn't wrap my head around the like uh the 5-10 second like
Oh,
it was like every millisecond was like a turn, and it looked on paper really clunky and slow. But
that's
I always wondered how it was like to
it's
actually play it.
less that and more of just it just feels like a turn like in 5e. I think every turn's supposed to be like 10 seconds.
Okay.
And every 6 turns is a minute. Yeah, Okay, so for my character in here, I am playing Katarina. She is a swashbuckler style warrior called the Brave. She is, for a few reasons, interested in magic, so she'll probably multi-class into something magic probably around level 5. I'm just not sure which one yet, so I'm still finalizing that part of the character. But yeah, she's kind of a free spirit, kind of an idiot in some respects because she just doesn't like to wear heavy armor. So she's got scars all over her. Aside from that, she is a Qatari with very, very distant Simia in her blood, which is mostly represented in how prehensile her tail is. But yeah, my brain is blanking, so that's pretty much it.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing the same thing this whole time. Okay. So Seaborn.
Oh yeah, Seaborn.
I noticed some like common patterns already. So what I wanted to originally do with the prologue is kind of do what the original DM was gonna do, like do a whole shipwreck scene. I'm not 100% sure that I wasn't like 100% sure. I think I might still just do that. Because there's two things I can kind of already gather. But before we do that part of it, there's actually one that just stood out to me when we were talking about Snips and Toph, or Snibs and Snips. God damn, that's kind of really go
my
wild.
brain's already cooking on that, man. Don't worry about it.
Toph is going to be calling Snips, and Snips is going to be like, what?
At least one of them is an animal.
Right.
For now.
I feel like, let's see.
That's so funny, dude.
Isn't
The
it?
odds, bro. The actual odds.
Okay, so what I'm thinking, right, is Snibs and Toph, which is as much as I would like to make fun of the whole animal thing. I think this would be good for two actual residences of the plague lands, and I feel like you two seem to be a perfect fit. Considering you, since you're both wildborn, and you kind of have more of a lay of the land type of attitude towards both your characters. Feel like I feel like at least you would be a native. Not 100% sure yet how that plays out, but I wanted to point that out just because I noticed that almost immediately when I put your two characters side by side. And then I think when I originally looked at characters, I was actually looking at Baron and Katarina because of you were saying I think Katarina was supposed to be a like kind of swashbuckler type of character. It's not specifically in there, but like that was clearly stated. And then Baron is a cook, and the original idea, right, was that we were all supposed to be shipwrecked on the maroon, like the corrupted island. So my thought was that you two were a part of the ship, and um that's how you end up at this corrupted island. Is that you got shipwrecked um onto it. Now the details are, or oh my gosh, jeez. Um, so what I'm trying to understand, or at least kind of formulate, is why. The why were you on a ship? Why were you heading towards um the uh the island? That's the one thing I still have yet to formulate just yet.
Well, I
Um,
do have a character motivation for that.
okay.
Um, I Katarina is looking for a place that might be real. It might just be legend, but it's called Natsurel, also known as the City of Towers. It's supposed to be some like glimmering city that shines in the night, but no one really knows where it is. At least no one that she knows where it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and let me send those questions that you gave.
Mhm.
Do you want me to just put them in general?
Yeah, put him in general. Yeah, and that was something I formulated from my homebrew plot, because
Mm.
like I said, I've been struggling with the two. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of those forms. Um, like I'll use those questions, but use the like I'm thinking of doing the um the maps from Daggerheart, and then kind of placing them,
Mhm.
uh kind of working my way from there. Instead of just going full homebrew, I'm kind of gonna do a in between. I know, kind of goes against what I just said, like um 30 minutes ago, but I think that might be the better way to go about this.
Cool.
Whatever you're
Um,
comfortable doing.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's true. Um,
Mm.
so let me see.
Or never
Mm.
mind.
Oh, okay.
I answered my own question immediately before asking it.
I
Um,
do that a lot too. Yeah.
I did have a question for some of the casters in the party. Since she was going to try to learn magic, would any of the I don't know if she would know any of the casters beforehand that might have wanted to or might have been able to tutor her a little bit or something.
Actually, Sax. Um, we don't really have
Yeah.
a firm backstory for your character, but
I was holding off
you.
until I had better composition. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Sure.
if she
Um,
doesn't mind a monkey, you know,
I
training her.
well, I know. I was kind of thinking, right, is that that would actually be like the wise monkey hanging out in the forest. I feel like
Mm.
that's a good um oh, legend says the there's this monkey that knows how to do crazy magic. And
The
like
circus monkey of great knowledge,
exactly,
dispensing power
yeah. And
to those who are worthy.
and funny thing about that, right, is that I actually am doing the exact same thing in my Saturday. I'm doing a same in school of knowledge. Um, it's just it's a motherboard instead of Witherwild, so it's all techie.
See, that's
Um,
fun because you can throw in techno babble. It doesn't really even make any sense, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Right?
Um,
Then I just
so we
need to
could,
decide one thing.
on like if you wanted to go that route.
That's fine with me. I
Um,
mean, in the background questions on the sheet, she was trained by a monkey on a goblin to fight.
all right,
That's
okay,
why she's so evasive.
And
yeah.
she's 1/8 monkey herself, so
Oh yeah, okay. That
And since she has hints of how do you say the monkey's race again? I've already
Simia.
Simia, thank you. I keep wanting to call it Shamia. Simia. Then
Shania
that kind of
Twain.
makes
Oh god.
that makes a little sense, right? Like
You know what? I didn't even think about it like that originally, but it makes even more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Alrighty, cool.
Yeah, I
So
haven't even started on my backstory yet.
no
yeah,
worries.
maybe I descend from a specific family that is of of wizards that are fabled in the I don't know, something about like, oh, these guys have been the keepers of the wizard training in this particular area for blah 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 period of time, and if you can convince them to train you, that's the hardest part, is getting them to train you, convince them that you are worthy of their teachings, or I don't know, make something up, but something
You
like
are the
that,
chosen one.
You are the chosen
You said
one.
you would
Yeah.
destroy the Sith,
That's
not
really
join
extreme for level 1.
I mean,
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Pick something, and I'll run with it.
alrighty.
Okay. And so that at least explains the connection with Katharina and Snibs. Oh, well, at least explains Katharina's situation. Um, the connection part a little different, but that's okay.
Yeah, we can sort that out later. Like,
Yeah,
whatever seems to make sense. Like,
right. Like, it's kind of great. Like, I feel like the pieces are coming together.
we're basically
That
trying to
actually,
figure out like how we all meet up together.
yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Um, oh wow.
Yeah, I'll probably be talking to you about my experiences over the next few days because that's a little bit more confusing than anything else.
No worries. Oh, and that's also another thing to touch on too. If you do have anything you want to talk about, feel free to message me. I answer my DMs pretty frequently. Somewhat obsessive. One of those people where I can't see that like red bar, right? And it has one notification in Discord, and I'm like, my mind. um, but yeah,
No, I also cannot stand to have a notification bubble.
well, I turn
um,
off most of my notifications.
well, yeah, that's the default, right? Anyway,
Yeah,
so the other connection that is also apparent is I think we can kind of piece together actually. I haven't really quite figured out the Toph one just yet. I like the idea of Toph and Snibs kind of meeting up.
Okay.
But I think I want to focus on Dawn and Snips because I feel like you two The main reason is because Dawn is, um, w- she she worships the tree, and she she kind of is around the area. I don't think she's from the area, but she worships it. That's kind of my um gist of what I got from that. And please feel free to um reiterate or uh like if there's something I'm missing, please tell me.
Yeah, she's from the area. I don't think I mentioned it. She's also Wildborn.
Okay. Man, we're all going wild over here.
Oh yeah.
It's
So
Yeah.
super flexible.
I heard that
Really
somebody
is.
else was a ribbit. Who was that?
I
Toph and Blitz.
think it's chilling.
That's my character,
Yeah.
Blitz.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a younger 20-ish ribbit. Has more of a uncertainty about the magic that's building inside him. A bit of unstable, uncontrollable, doesn't know how to deal with it, but more of like
Mm.
kind of like a friendly nature type. Enjoys meeting new friends in companionship. That's his. I guess you can say his just pure nature, just
Yeah,
hanging
our
out.
two dudes are for show gonna be friends.
Yeah, but he is kind of like that. He still has that kind of like that the '80s vibe. He's always kind of vibing it up. He's got the that kind of like '80s surfer kind of vocals, which at the time I'll determine whether or not if that's going to be annoying to others. But
I'm gonna try to do a voice. If at
yeah,
any time you guys are like, get this guy out of here, I will stop.
yeah,
It's fine. I'm gonna try and do voices, but I also suck at voices.
I've recently started dabbling in the subject,
Of,
so it's
yeah,
a little rough. It's a little rough.
but I mean, if that's what you want him to sound like, and that's what you want him to be, I'm always cool with everybody just sounding the way they want it to sound.
like
Yeah, and I might tweak his voice over the first few sessions.
Mhm.
my impression of a ribbit, right, is um
Kermit the Frog.
you haven't heard the last of me.
So I'm leaning more towards like a Stitch voice.
Ah,
Like
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna
Punch
say the first time I do it, I'm gonna sound horrible. Like
Punch Bundle.
so, like he says, "Ohama means family, and family means no one gets left behind." But
You're
I
gonna
like
so
I'm not
quickly slide
talking.
into Jar Jar.
Right. I love it.
I wish
love
I
it.
could say something in character, but like I don't know. I just can't do it outside of an actual roleplay situation.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least you got it. Kind of you have an idea of what you that. Um, so we kind of derailed a little. But we're gonna go back. Actually, I do now that you pointed it out. I do kind of like Toph and Blitz kind of teaming up. I feel like there's something there. Um, but first, before we get too heavy into that,
We're gonna play Jump Frog
um,
or Leapfrog.
uh, let's let's get into Snips and Dawn. Do either one of you have any thoughts on a relation? Just because you're both in the area, you kind of have some sort of knowledge of the environment, but you have kind of different ideologies when it comes to it. I feel like Dawn is kind of more, almost has a more religious appeal to her, in a way. Uh, and then Snibs is definitely leaning more towards like uh not necessarily free spirit, but like um more like just
I would say Snibs is like somewhere between Spock and like fascinating learning stuff, and
Okay.
somewhere like maybe like like he would be the kind of monkey that he'd see a fascinating thing and he'd whip out a monocle if he could and just try and dissect it, and he might not necessarily like squirrel levels from up kind of dog mentality of like I'm just going to fixate on this, but he's definitely more inquisitive, wanting to learn. So like he approaches everything from like, okay, how does this work and how does this apply to the world and how can I use this and where does this fit, and oh, this is fascinating, let me read 5,000 books on the matter later on. Kind of a character.
Only 5,000.
Definitely not much in the way of religious. Like I don't look at a thing and go, the gods of Almighty put this here to do whatever. It's more of like tinkering and figuring it out.
Okay.
So if he brings me something, maybe he brings me interesting trinkets, right?
Yeah.
Check this thing out that I found over here on this other hill that we've never seen before.
Speaking of religious stuff, I included 3 gods that I just made up in my questions. Did you have names for gods already, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I haven't gotten that far.
I gave you
personally.
3.
But I'm glad you're doing my homework for me. I always was that type of student. I'm sorry.
And if you need, there's etymology for each of them.
And
I doubt it.
of what I had kind of read a little bit and through the PDF stuff on the Witherwild, Haven, I guess, is like the main metropolis kind of area, and it said it was some sort of like godless kind of land where like they don't really worship the gods that much there, it sounded like.
So actually, I really should read this for you because it's actually what it says to do. So I'll read the Haven part. Haven was once the most powerful region for centuries. The high stone walls into the capital bore the phrase "the godless gate." While the original meaning has been lost to common knowledge, some dusty tombs and ancient records state that the founders of Haven wished to be free of the influence of the faint divinities that dominated the surrounding regions. They hatched a plan to kill one of the mightiest of these deities, known as the Shun Ash, the Granite Ophid. While their exact method of deciding, God damn it, is forgotten, their victim assured Haven's dominance in the region for centuries to come. They made their home behind his remains, which became the mighty walls that Haven is known for. But Shunash would have his revenge, as the heavenity carved through his stone body, the fine dust left behind settled into the surrounding earth. There was a time of prosperity over many centuries, while the scales of the god remained undisturbed, but progress it is its own pressure. The growing population demanded increased productivity, and as farmers tilled deeper soil and miners hacked into hidden stone, the ancient stone dust rose to the surface. The same walls that brought the city security became the crucible that incubated a virulent plague. Over the last 2 years, over half of Haven's populace fell to a disease known as the serpent's sickness. First victims cough up dust. Soon after, their skin breaks out in a scaling rash. Finally, their body hardens. First, the flesh, bones, and soft tissues, spreading until finally their organs ossified. Once within the organs, the serpent moves so quickly that suffers petrify where they stand, filling Haven with statues of victims in their last moments of agony. Uh, that's mainly Haven. Um,
Aha.
Okay.
there is way more, but I also I realized when I started reading, I'm like, I should have just read the whole because I skipped over Fainwick, uh, and I was getting into details, and I'm like, oh, I think I should have read that first part first before I just read this whole thing.
Yeah. Is there any way you could send that to me so I could read it?
Oh, there is I'll actually I'll put it in handouts. So I put the PDFs on the forum, but it's kind of lost to
Okay.
the amount of stuff that's on there. But don't worry, I got it on hand. So I'll get that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. My ADHD is going crazy right now, so I'm like not paying attention very well.
No worries. I I have a similar issue. It is in handouts if you would like to look it over yourself. It's the exact same thing I'm reading right now.
Okay, cool.
Um, I am just reading it from the physical book. Um, but yeah, I've been kind of glancing over at mainly Wildborn and well, they combined it with Ridgeborn under Wildborn. They all kind of have a similar scenario. Uh, or at least a fair connection. Although since everyone's kind of Wildborn, and well, a good portion of you are Wildborn, um, there's a good chance that we can kind of, at least for session one's sake, have you kind of all grouped together and kind of like, oh, I think I know this person because of this thing. I really want to try though with the frogs, right? Um, what was okay? Top McTwig and Blitz. So this is kind of a pitch I'll bring to both of you. What if you guys were like brothers and like inseparable, right? Um, and you're on an adventure together and entering this forest. Um, just I know that kind of leans a little bit more into like a Wonderborn type of ideology, but I think it still works for Wildborn. Um,
Were you talking to me and chilling?
yes, yeah,
Hey, I'm down.
yeah. I
I roll with
figured,
it.
yeah, bring the frogs together. Got all
Yeah, it helps
stick
me shape my
together.
backstory a little bit.
Um, yeah, that might work out really well. Now, what I would like to figure out is I guess the why. The why is going to be what we're going for there. Why would you be going to um this haven't actually named it yet. We need to name this place. Um oh, never mind. We're gonna just it's called Fainwick.
Mm-hmm.
um that's all right, so let me read Fainwick just to kind of get everyone to speed. So Fainwick is a wild and untamed land, long avoided by outside forces. The woods are dark and twisting, filled with faint divinities who perform small miracles and services for its inhabitants, but are just as likely to lure travelers off narrow paths to their ruin. Seemingly harmless expenses of field hide, bogs that engulf entire armies, consuming heavy artillery as quickly as it can cross the border. This wilderness fosters hardy people who are bold enough to raise families where others have not and strictly followed the unique rules that keep them safe. These wicklings remained um, insulated from their neighbors' war or neighbors' wars until the plague forced the people of Haven to desperate acts. I'm just glad it has a name. Oh, I've been bouncing around way too much there. So now that we know the what, why would you be going to Faint? Is what we're going to answer ourselves with Blitz and Toff. I guess actually before we get into that, do you want to each bounce ideas off each other for like what type of relationship you have with each other? Like, is it a friendly competition, or is it like a rivalry, or is is it like brotherly bond, or what do you
I
guys think?
think I think the setting might be a little bit more fluid if instead of like true bloodline brothers, they were kind of grew up together, friends that have a bond like brothers, where that
Yeah.
competitive nature can come in and kind of make those things um where we kind of one up each other in like in that best friend kind of way.
Okay. Yeah. No.
That works for me.
Yeah. Perfect. So we got that situation situated. So now we just need the reason for venturing. Maybe we should ask ourselves, where you guys actually here. Oh my god, let me get rid of something. I had like a full thing of like everyone's like character sheets.
And like
It's
just to
crazy.
put it out there, from what I had read, is like something
Mhm.
was stolen from the woods to cause this um, infection to start. And so, like, I could see maybe like dawn coming from like some woods nearby, it encroaching upon like her lands and stuff. I could see like maybe like snibs like more in the town, um, maybe trying to figure out why this is spreading through the lands and the woods, and trying to find a way to stop it or the reason why it's spreading, um, to try and find what was stolen, and maybe try to see about getting it back or something like that to return it to its rightful place.
Okay. Uh, yeah, they do mention. Um, I think reading this over in my head, I there's the reaping eye and then the sowing, which I don't. Just at a brief glance, I was trying to look see if they were separate or the same. I think they're different. Oh, they are. They're basically two relics uh of the same object. Uh Okay, so if that's the case, right, Dawn could be in search of the Reaping Eye, because it got stolen from its shrine that it was at in a nearby forest, and in doing so has disturbed the balance and equilibrium of the Fanewick. Uh, that actually does give a reasonable thing. Do you have anything to add? Elf?
This sounds good.
Okay. And
Trying to retrieve the eye.
okay. And I think so. Let me get this straight. So we're doing.
Shelley, do you want to send me a friend request? I tried to send you one and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, on Discord.
Yeah, so we can
Sure.
shoot some ideas back and forth. I just
Yeah.
had ChatGPT cook up a basis for a backstory for Toph, and it has your character in it, so I want to make sure everything with your character sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you have? I was wondering, is there like maps of the area?
I do, and I
Okay.
was just about to upload it.
Okay.
And so you should be able to see that soon. If I could do it properly.
Because I was wondering if
um,
there was actually any coastal land, like where we would have been like shipwrecked on um, coming to this place.
oh jeez. If Yeah, this is what I was trying to fix. Like it's very small, but I kind of like this map. I think
Okay.
it's just because it's a big regional map and I
Yeah.
need to zoom it in.
Okay. Because like I seen
So
somebody had made one in the Daggerheart Discord, but I wasn't sure if it was actually the canon map or if it's just when they generated.
there's three specific blank maps that Daggerheart provides. This is one of them. They all have actually no. I think actually looking at this further, when I was looking at all three of these, I think they're actually so the one we're looking at is the big regional map. But there's also actually here, let me see if I can pull all of these up and then we can all like together look at this and be like it should click. I think what it is that it's kind of like a West March thing where it's like, oh, this is part of this setting, this is part of that setting, but they all coincide together. Um, so it's you got kind of fractures of it. Because I was like, I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this looks like Fane because of this, this, and this. But then when I look at the other two, it looks like it kind of reminds me of one of the corners. So yeah, let me get these pulled up, and then we can at least affirm my suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not sure if I like the way this does. where this goes on Roll20. You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'll still put it up on Roll, but I'm gonna probably put this in handouts as well.
All right.
Just make it easier. That way, those
Yeah,
are all.
Roll20 is really weird when importing things in, map wise, matching up the pixels and the grids and all that jazz.
That's what I noticed. It looks really terrible.
There's a way to offset it. I don't remember
Yeah.
the ratio, but yeah.
It
You
must
can
be a
also
pixel.
turn the grid that's Roll20 off for a map.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Not that. I thought I saw it. Oh, geez. Not doing that. I had dark mode. I was like, oh, I want to keep that. What the hell? Kind of a small grid size, huh? Okay, I'll definitely have to work on that some other time. That's gonna take me a while to figure out. But for those that are oh, there we go. For those that are curious, the maps are in the handout section. I'm also going to put it on Roll20. It's just going to be a second.
Yeah, I've got them downloaded, looking them over.
Cool. My thought.
So does my question? This may be a new Daggerheart question. Is Daggerheart like an actual full-fledged campaign setting, or are they just giving us like a sandbox? Hey, this is generally what the map of the world looks like, and you can do with it what you want, kind of thing.
So they give you. So each campaign frame is a setting. So they give you 6 settings to work with, and then you get a brief description of everything, and then you kind of
You sandbox the
homebrew
rest of it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least watching how they do it on the stream, it is mostly like the world is different every time you play, even if you play the same frame, because it's the DM and the players building it together.
Gotcha. Okay. So we don't have to necessarily worry about a specific setting rules. It's more of an overall arcing theme, and then we can just fill it in and create it ourselves. Got it. Cool. I like it.
Yeah. That's what that was my attraction to it. It was that it was a more of a cooperative effort on everyone. It's not just the GM. So everyone kind of has an input in the story. And then especially since for me, like I can get things rolling, but I have a hard time like fully fledging out a world by myself. And I always wanted like a cooperative effort with that sort of thing.
Cool.
I do not have that problem. I am writing so many books. Actually, writing so many books is the problem.
Oh no. You just get it. Are you like the kind of like Brandon Sanderson, or you just write a book a week or something?
Well, the first one that I'm actually trying to publish, I put out in 1 month. And then I
Ooh.
waited several months to edit it because if I did it immediately, it'd be a mess. Editing is hard if you're
Yeah.
doing your own stuff.
It's it could be really daunting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do such things. I wish I was good at it because I like storytelling, but I'm just not super talented at like fleshing it out and kind of doing crazy like what's it called? I've had a hard time with describing scenarios, describing ways. I've been getting better at it, but still work in progress on my part.
Yeah, I have probably about 25 books that I'm in different stages on. It is not good.
My ADHD could never write a single book. I would get halfway through 700 books.
I'm in.
Yeah, just don't
Ha-
turn it into George R.R. Martin and never finish them.
Oh yeah. What is it we're waiting on? It's not the song. I think Song Ice and Fire was the last one he wrote, wasn't it?
My brain is.
Hmm.
I have a problem remembering specifics like that.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm going to end up screwing up everybody's name. Blackbeard's used to it, but
I mean, that could be an interesting character trait. You would.
I usually
I'd-
sometimes find a way to incorporate that into my characters because it comes naturally anyway. So I'm like, well, it's going to happen. I might as well, either it's like a sarcastic way or it's a fumbling professor way, or it's some kind of way in the character just so that when it happens,
well,
it's
if you
part of
forget
it.
my bird's name, I'll be impressed.
I feel like I should
Oh,
remember this.
oh God.
So, like,
uh,
is that like the city of Haven, like floating in the air?
um, so I'm wondering. Um, sorry for anybody
It's
looking
like
at Roll
the
20 right
middle of
now.
the continent
those
with a
those-
mountain that just like rose up
It's
into the
blurry
sky.
Is it blurry?
a little bit,
Okay.
but it's
Um,
it's good enough for us to see what's going on. It's got to be like a pixel
it
density
is.
thing. Oh,
I.
it finally
Oh.
full resed on me. It just took a
Yeah.
while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loading, please
Yeah.
wait.
I was like, this is probly the clearest one I've done so far.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know.
yeah,
It
it's weird. I agree. Like I don't know what's going on with this, and this is kind of why I have like a strong opinion about it already. And I've only used this twice.
that'll do.
um,
Till we find a better tool.
right. Um. It doesn't really state, huh? But I think that would be kind of interesting that it would be up there,
Yeah,
like just
I just
images in
gotta
the
figure out how
sky.
to get up there or get down from there.
Yeah. Oh, you
Like,
it's kind of irrelevant to what we're talking about, but like it, Haven kind of reminds me a lot of Alexandria from Final Fantasy 9. I almost picture it being like something that is harvesting the land in a way, or like getting anything it can um to kind of increase productivity within their walls, but like destroying everything else. And they've almost achieved some sort of like higher state of being. Maybe not being, but like higher state of like solidarity from like literally lifting themselves up from the rest of the world.
I really hope I'm not the only person here that hasn't played Final Fantasy.
It's fair. I don't expect you to. I'm sorry.
No, it's
But
fine.
Bringing up 14 or bringing up Alexandria reminds me I need to get on 14 and do this week's dailies and stuff.
oh my god, you play 14 as well?
Of course.
Oh, that's where I got it from. I got it from 14. But the reason why I mention it, right, is because it's the it's got a lot of Final Fantasy 9 reference. Also, Final Fantasy 9 is actually one of one of my favorites in the series so far because I just like the story. Particularly the ending. You know the 14 ending, I'm assuming, right? Of Dawn Trail.
Mhm.
Or maybe not. um it's actually kind of a reflection of Final Fantasy 9 story where essentially they both are feeding off, like they're trying to preserve their citizens but destroying others in the process. And that preservation is rotting away. Um the same thing that happens in Final Fantasy 9, just in a different context. Um that's what I thought was really cool about it. And I need to actually go back and play some of the newer stuff in 14. I haven't been
7-2
on
is
in
great.
quite a while. Yeah, because I know that one lady came back, um, which oh gosh, I forgot her name already.
Fiend?
Um, oh Jesus, I'll remember it eventually. um, but yeah, I kind of like the idea that they're that Haven's kind of this like city in the sky, um, and they're just kind of corroding the planet in secret. Um,
I mean, aren't they
that will
using a
probably,
god's corpse as
yeah.
the walls for the
Sorry,
city?
the what?
Aren't they using a god's corpse as the walls of their city?
Yeah, yeah, I like it.
Oh my. Okay, so I just had ChatGPT think of some experiences for Toph. One of them is for Blitz always a +2 to abilities when helping Blitz.
Okay. If you're able to uh like send me a copy of it, that way I can reference it as well. Um,
Yeah, let me take a screenshot of this.
do you
I'm not
actually
sure it knows the system yet because I don't think if anything's called a blitz.
No, that's his the other
Oh,
character.
okay.
Yeah, the
so
experience.
you can
I was trying to
name
think
it.
of a mechanic. I'm like, what?
We can try to say blitzball, kind of like a all right. I'm sorry. I think I'm the only one that has a lot of Final Fantasy reference, but Final Fantasy X has a thing called blitzball.
Played
Okay.
10, 10 2.
Yep. And 10
I've,
too.
I've played 1, 7, 9, and 10.
Okay. Yeah. I'm so
I've only
glad.
played 7 remakes.
That's fair. That's actually how I've been playing 7. Like I played a little bit of the original, but I was just late to the party on that one. I was too young when it
Yeah.
first came out.
Same, and this is gonna sound ironic, but I don't like RPGs with turn-based combat. But
That's fair.
I can play tabletops, but
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I think you'll probably you'll like Daggerheart then, because it doesn't really do turn based really. It's very free flow. and yeah, it sounds like back and forth from what I get referenced.
Yeah.
Referenced.
I love turn-based tabletop games, but turn-based
Yeah.
video games I cannot do for some reason.
Exactly.
This is going to be off topic again, but anyone here played Expedition 33?
I
Not
have
yet.
not. I've heard very good things about it though.
So the
To
thing
get back
about
to
that
it at
game,
some point.
yeah,
Because like I said, I don't like those kinds of games, but that's
Mhm.
game of the year in my book.
yeah. Well, it's definitely a huge contender. I'd be shocked if it didn't win. But the thing about that, right, is that system is turn based, but it's very active turn based, more active than even oh god, there's a couple others that are like that.
Baldur's
But
Gate, maybe?
no, Baldur's Gate is a CRPG, which is actually ironically a traditional turn based. It's the thing about Baldur's Gate that makes it great. The way it incorporates D&D while also introducing a good story, which is hard for any like Wizard of Coast game. It just doesn't seem like they have that type of resources on at least until they released that game. It just didn't seem that possible. At least with their funds. But yeah, no, that's Baldur's Gate is an enigma, which I do enjoy. It kind of got a lot of us, a lot of my friends into D&D because of that game.
Really?
But yeah, that's one that like if you don't like turn based, I totally recommend Expedition 33. Like
Okay.
it's like a good just high volatile like turn based. I actually am with you on that one. Final Fantasy 16. I actually had a hard time just continuing it, and not because it was horrible. It was actually really good for what I played. I just was so squirrely with so many other things that I was just offbeat with that game. I actually really liked Final Fantasy 15, even with its flaws. It had um a lot of flaws with the story because of how they just all of a sudden you reach part 2 and it's like over within like maybe an hour, and it was like, what happened? Where's all the context? um yeah, that was one one game I was like, I like it, but yeah.
I like it, Picasso.
All right. That oh god. That went off the rails. Um
Hey, that's the best part of tabletop RPGs.
it really is, right? Okay. So
My gosh, my first session with this other party that I'm playing with currently, we
mhm.
didn't even play the game. We just spent the entire session talking, and then it was like, well, at least we got to know each other.
That's why we have zero session.
Oh yeah.
It's meant for discussion on what to do, and I'm so glad that, well, for once I'm actually glad I did this right, because my first zero session I just rambled on for the first like 10 minutes of what's going to happen, and then we rolled straight into it, and we had no idea what was happening.
Like, what do you do?
I don't know. Let's go
Yeah,
do
Exactly.
it.
it's awesome that we're
Yeah.
making character connections.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Daggerheart does a good job at making sure you have relations before you start anything. I do
Yeah.
like that a lot about this game. It makes
It
it
does make the
I feel like it's going to make the first session feel a lot smoother than the first D&D session usually is.
Yeah. So we so far got, or this is just my notes. We got Catherine finding Nuts Drill. I'm probably butchering that.
Don't
Not
worry, I'll be
Sturell.
doing that a lot.
Yeah, Katarina and that's Sturell.
Okay. I won't lie. I'm not gonna spell that right. If you can just put that name in general chat so I can copy it to my notes, that'd be awesome. Or you could just send me it. Either way, I just want to make sure it's correct, and that way I can pronounce it. And then Catherine is also looking for Snips for guidance in the School of Knowledge.
Catherine.
So I think that's what I got, and then this is how I should write it. And then
All right, put it in.
oh, perfect. Yeah, I totally butchered that. Like to hell. But I'll definitely get it down session 1. Looking for snubs. Nose. Baron. I'll do relations with Baron through ship. I don't actually think we fully fledged that out yet.
Yeah, no.
But we'll get back to that. I want to finalize my current thoughts. So the next one I have is Dawn is in search of the Reaping Eye that was stolen and has effect on the Fainwick. And she has a relation with Snips. Snibs. God damn it. With Snibs through venturing forest. Or venturing I guess I could say venturing periodically through the okay. And we can tweak that as we go. We still got
Maybe
reasonable
just
amount
an
of time.
idea.
Mhm.
Like maybe Snibs left the wild. Like maybe him and Dawn kind of know each other, to try and find some answers as to what's going on. Snibs went into Haven to try and find some answers or some evidence, some clues, and he was supposed to return within a certain amount of time, and he didn't. So Dawn decided to go to Haven to make sure he's okay, try and find him, see what's taking him so long. So maybe they're both in Haven because of that. Toph and Blitz coming from the forest and the infection, are trying to escape it before they themselves get sick or mutated. And then me and Katarina are recently shipwrecked onto the island, um, just making our way into Haven ourselves.
Do you want me to
quickly read this draft backstory I had ChatGPT
Sure.
work up?
1 sec.
Okay.
So that way it kind of gives us, we're all kind of paired 2 by 2 by 2, but we all kind of meet up in Haven together somehow.
Okay, I'm back.
Alrighty.
Do
All
we have
right, I
your
can
backstory?
now. Chillin'. If any of this sounds off for your character, I know you said his magic was kind of chaotic. Am I wrong in saying that?
For that was just general prior to kind of developing the story. So that doesn't necessarily have to be like happening now, since we're kind of catering or generating the story for this like how it's being set up at the moment. So I'm cool with
Okay.
oh, shoot.
All right. I'll read this real quick, and then it's just a draft, so we can change anything. Uh, Toph McTwig and Snips, Wildborn Beastbound Ribbit Ranger of the Witherwilds. Toph McTwig was hatched beneath the moss-draped canopy of the Glumroot Mire, a murky, half-swallowed stretch of the Witherwilds where the trees whisper secrets and the bog keeps them. From his earliest days, Toph was a curious ribbit, too silent for most, too stealthy for his own good. While others croaked songs about around the fire or sparred in the reeds, Toph wandered the twisted roots of the fern-choked paths, eyes wide and heart open to the wild. His closest companion was not a ribbit at all, but a fierce and loyal golden eagle named Snips, whom he rescued from a bramblekin trap when he was barely old enough to string a bow. Snips had been at his side ever since, sharp-eyed, sharp-taloned, and the only creature as silent and observant as Toph himself. But the bond Toph treasures most is with Blitz, his ribbitkin and soul brother, a wielder of strange and sometimes startling magic. They were raised together by a ragged clutch of wanderers after a fire swept through their native reed heap. Toph always kept them fed, hidden, and one step ahead of danger, while Blitz lit their way, sometimes literally and often unintentionally. Blitz's magic is unpredictable, like stormlight in a bottle, and while it scares him at times, Toph has never once flinched. Whatever, uh, shoot, Blitz, Toph will stand at his side. The two of them have made a name for themselves among the thorn thickets and dusk swamps, defenders of forgotten hollows, quiet saboteurs of bramblekin harvesters, and occasional mischief makers among the root-spoken druids. Toph prefers shadows to speeches, letting his arrows speak when words fail, but he always has Blitz's back, and the two are nearly inseparable. Lately, though, the Witherwilds have grown restless. Creatures once bound to the natural order now act with cruel intelligence, and deep, unfamiliar magic stirs in the soil. Blitz has started dreaming of a great eye beneath the mud, watching, waiting, and Toph has noticed Snips circling higher more warily. They're being called, not by a person or even a god, but by the wild itself. The forest wants something. The mire is remembering something, and Toph McTwig, ever a ghost among the vines, may just have to step into the light to find out what.
So I was trying to gauge the kind of like what Blackbeard was mentioning, the kind of escaping the wild from the corruption, uh, and kind of mix in with how there's different signs that we would have to escape the wilderness with the eye in the mud and the and your and Snips, both kind of giving that direction to head out and seek what's corrupting uh, the area, something like that.
Yeah. Did that sound good with you, chillin'?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Then, did that sound good with you?
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. I will put that on my character sheet then.
Let's see here. seconds. I will try to put that in my notes.
I had to take a picture of it and send it because it won't let
Yeah.
me type that many words. But
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I was like, man, that's a lot. It looks like it's 2 pages.
yeah.
Do you have a second page of that?
No, that the picture I sent you is the entire thing. It doesn't continue any farther.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Because I can transpose that and format it in a doc.
Cool. I'm telling, bro, ChatGPT has been working up some cinema recently. I'm just saying.
I hate to admit it, but I use ChatGPT for a lot of things.
It has
Oh yeah,
improved quite a bit from where it was a year or two
I
ago.
know.
A year or two ago,
Dude,
it's
it's
like, you're a wizard
crazy.
and you do things that are wizardy in a fantasy world far, far away. Now it's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
because that's
Now
how it
it,
felt. Like
Yeah.
at first, I was like, man, this isn't helpful at all. Give me yes, and then like yeah, just recently I tried it again because uh actually it was the GM from my Shadow Dark like playthroughs. He was recommending that to me. I'm like, really? That's how you get like, and even they've started really improving on their imaging, their imaging
Mhm.
generation.
Yeah, their
Um,
image generation is crazy now.
it's definitely a lot
Yeah.
better. It's still not great. Like I'm not a huge fan, but for certain things, I'm like, okay, I can go to this for that.
Honestly, I'm
Like
trying to learn to draw just because I don't want to use any AI stuff.
Mhm.
that's fair. Yeah, to
Sometimes
be
I'll go to
honest,
my mom because she's an amazing artist, but I cannot draw for the life of me.
I am also trying to draw. I mainly work on maps. So
Mm.
like
He's
the
incarnate for that.
yeah, I I mean, I actually use Procreate for map drawing. I like the
Baby
tools.
making?
I just like the brush tools for that. It makes it easier for the brush strokes. Um, but that's just me.
That
I've
is actually
been
an amazing name. I Procreate.
God damn it. I know this is gonna be a good campaign. Go searching.
I may be on vacation on our second uh session 2. What would session 2 be? Like what day would that be?
Oh, here I'll post it and in the general messages, right? Um, I do say that there may be deviations. Um, and so I've also accounted for that. We can kind of either get a consensus of like, oh, do we want to push back or do we want to just continue? Just depends on how everyone feels. Because if it's just one person, um, then we may just go on and we'll like, because I'll also give a brief summary on what happens during each session,
Mm-hmm.
but that
Oh,
is so like you
okay.
won't be if you're gone, you're gonna um you're gonna still get like a brief description of what happened. Um,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so if you're
And
worried about missing out, like,
oh
oh
no, if I'm on vacation, I'll just take my computer with me. I was just saying I was just saying.
yeah, but anyway, I did post a schedule in there,
Mm.
because we have been kind of jumping around, kind of doing a whole bunch, and um, including zero session. Our first session is going to be July, so that is going to be 3 weeks out. Um, I did that mainly so that way it can realign my schedule for what I'm doing. Um,
Mhm.
but if that like messes up anything in anybody's schedule, then we can rearrange that. It's very flexible. It's just no matter what, it's going to be Tuesdays at either 6 p.m. Pacific or 9 p.m. Eastern. And the time frame normally is going to be roughly 2 to 3 hours. I don't plan to go any further than that. I've tried to go further and my brain fuses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, the 2 or 3 hour session will work good for me. Like, that way I can get off and because I do work a day shift job, so I stay up late anyways. But that's right about the time I start winding down for the night, so that would be a good stopping point.
Yeah.
perfect.
And the session 2 is on the day that I come back from vacation. So as long as it's not literally when I'm on the plane, I should be good.
Okay.
Because even if it's on the drive home, I'll just pull out my laptop and put a hotspot on or something. Like,
yeah, whatever. I mean, if you're able to make it, awesome. If not, no worries. I'll have to figure something out because I also, as we've been talking about where everybody is, we're also very spread out.
Mhm.
oh yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that. But like Catherine and Baron are in a shipwrecked in Fanewick, while Dawn and Snibs would be, if we do this accordingly, they should be in Haven. Yeah, Haven. During first session, technically. And then it would be Toph and Blitz would also be in Fanewick. Okay, now that I think about it out loud, I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought. I was like thinking, is that gonna be like a bit thin? But technically it's just 2 people.
Should
Okay. Yeah.
Should I change my name?
Yeah.
Hmm?
You can change your name if you need
Oh,
to.
I meant just like from the
Oh, to your
Katarina,
character
'cause
name?
no, just because he keeps saying Catherine.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Katharina. Um yeah, my apologies. I don't know why it must be a West thing because I'm spacing out a little. Um, uh, I promise I'll get it right by session 1. I swear. But any changes you would like to make to your character, you're more than willing to before session 1, at least when it comes to names and everything. Um, I think we've kind of nailed down like everyone's relationships. If there's something I'm missing, please feel free to speak.
I can't think of anything at the moment, and we do have some weeks to finish flushing it out during the through the chat if we need to.
Yeah, of course. So actually, now that you mention that, so what I've adopted, and actually this is what my Saturday group is doing, is party notes is kind of my way to like any sort of like um experiences, backstory, anything like that. What I'm wanting to try and do is put it into a thread in party notes. That way we can keep it track in its own spot. When we've been doing it in my Saturday group, it's we have it where it's like individual topics of things. It's almost like forum, but um it's a bit more condensed.
Do you want
I'm
to turn
kind
it
of
into a thread?
yeah, it's basically a thread. Um So whatever backstory thing you got, make a thread out of it, and that way we can keep track of it through that thread. And it could be like your relations, your like specifically your moon cycle idea, which I do have an idea for that, by the way.
Okay.
And, I'll probably flesh that out a bit more in the next couple weeks. Uh, but I'll be able to have a firm identity for that because I do like the idea. I am curious, actually. Are you trying to be a werewolf?
Huh? No.
Okay, I was just curious because it kind of just sounded like it, especially when you mentioned the moons. Like,
There are other things that the moon affects,
yeah, that's true. It does.
and perhaps they will be revealed later.
I'm
That's
just a
true.
bitch that likes the moon.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh man. So actually, to add to that, do
Me
you
being a
have?
bitch?
No, no. Oh, jeez. I was wondering.
Oh.
When you mentioned that to me, I immediately thought of the blood moon. Which this is from well, the idea that I'm coming up with is from V Rising. If you ever heard of it, um, if you don't, that's fine too. It's a survival vampire game.
I've heard of it, not played it.
But the point I'm making though is the blood moon in it gives them um like buffs and everything that makes them fight better in the night. Um they automatically just fight better in the night because they're vampires, and if they're in the day, they shrivel up and die. So you have to like hide in shade and all that. But yeah. Um but where would you be interested in that if I could figure out a way?
What, being a vampire?
No, and
I was about to say, are you trying to appeal to 14-year-old me?
no, no. I mean as like a theme in the moon cycle. Uh I don't have a firm identity for that, and it may play on like later, like probably halfway through.
Mm,
Because I feel like that could be something good. I just don't know entirely what yet.
it would
Um,
probably mean she would need to do a different phase of the dance.
no worries. Well, we can scrap it. It's not a big deal.
Oh no,
I was just
that's something she can that can happen. Just need to
yeah.
workshop ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just thought I would throw it out there because I'm like that sounded like a cool idea. And the day days and nights seem to be a common theme throughout Wither Wilds in general.
I wanted to
So
ask you about that.
have mhm.
Uh, I wasn't trying to interrupt, but I did want to ask you about that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was reading that I didn't know if you were going to have it that way, the way it's written, or not. It says that the day and night cycle is per week. So like it's 7 days of day and then like 7 nights of night.
Hmm. You got a point there. Cause I cause
I
I
mean, the
think
moon will still be out during the day or night. That doesn't care.
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
yeah,
I was just kind of
I know that.
curious if it was going to be like that or if it was going to
Like literally like that.
more traditional
um
day night cycle or week long day night cycles.
yeah. I like the idea that it's like specifically a week,
Mm-hmm.
and um uh, I'm kind of I might mess with that a bit more
Okay.
because in my head I feel like okay, one session could be day and then one session could be night. do like, oh, this is week 1, this is week 2, week 3, you know, and that's actually how you can keep track of time. Also how you can keep track of the moon. But that's also not exactly how a narrative story plays out naturally. So I might have to think on that
Okay.
now that you mention it, or
Yeah.
that now that's kind of in the forefront of my mind, because that might be a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, we could just.
um,
We didn't have to. I was just wondering if you had actually thought about that part.
I was thinking about it midway,
Mm-hmm.
because I originally, like I said, and this is coming from the idea, and I think I'm approaching this too much like a you've all heard of a West March
Oh, yeah.
campaign, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was kind of taking that sort of approach to it,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of I'm not sure if that's a good idea for this type of game, or at least not right away. Like, um, I like the idea of it, but I just don't know if it's perfect for this
Yeah.
idea, at least for the moment to moment, because there's clearly going to be a fluid story
Mm-hmm.
going on, and learning from my mistakes. I am not trying to end off in a cliffhanger as frequently. That's something I did quite a bit in my last campaign, and that was terrible. Because people would um like people have lives and they just like it don't show up, but they have like a very important moment in the story, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh god, we got this cliffhanger going
Mm.
on here,
Yeah.
there, and it's like they got to a point where I was like missing at least one person per session,
Yeah.
and it was at like the pinnacle moment, and I'm like, I give, I fold, I just, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Um, but it does happen, and it's a fact of life. Like, I'm not gonna fault anybody here for needing to deal with real life.
Yeah.
Um, so that is also a thing. Just like if you have something going on, uh, then that's fine. I'm gonna try my best to recap everything each session, um, as it goes forward. Okay. So to kind of formulate everything, we got everyone's location. We sort of solved, I think, actually to just put a dot in this for the day and night cycle. I don't think I'll do completely. Actually, no. I might do it as normal. No, just do a normal day and night cycle.
Okay.
So that way we can experience because I do like the whole moon cycle idea.
Yeah.
That's something I do like. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is doing a traditional tracker. Kind of similar to how Shadow Dark does it. We'll try and do it more real time. Uh I've kind of liked that method of tracking. Um but I don't think I'll go as far as what my Shadow Dark group does, where they actually also keep track of the months and days. Because if we do that every 2 weeks, well, the thing about that is we would miss, I feel like, so much context of where everyone is. But maybe not. I guess I have to fume over that a little bit more. Oh gosh.
You'd almost have to track it in game, not in real time. Like,
Yeah.
whatever days that we
Yeah.
do in the game, you just have to tick them on the tracker.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you, I mean, you can time forward in between sessions if you get to a stopping point, but
Right.
like you can like fast forward a week to travel time or whatever, and you just account for those on the ticker. Would probably be the best way to do it, so that if you are planning a specific thing for a specific phase of the moon, those things can be dealt with when they come up, right?
Right.
If that's something that you all are looking to do. But it would definitely have to be in game time.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be in game time.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to look at it any other way.
Yeah.
From a narrative perspective. Okay, so that's at least I'll pen I'll dot that now because that makes more sense to just track the time in session and not like meta. I'll try not to meta too much in that. Like it's getting a bit too much. We got I think what I'll do. Actually, I should also. They're missing. Oh, that's right. Still haven't wrote down Toph and relations.
Somebody say my name or my
Oh,
character's name.
I'm writing down notes of your character.
Okay.
That way I can keep track of everything. Or at least basically I'm tracking purpose and I'm tracking relations. That's the number one thing that I got right now. And we kind of have we have some lore specifically for the Fanewick, and in terms of the eye, that is a relic, which I believe, if this looks right, technically it's from dead to live. I believe that is exactly what, the reaping eye and the sowing eye. It was of the serpent sickness, which is from it's a dead god from long ago, and they released the toxins by separating the eye. I believe that's how I'm going to explain that, and I'll flesh it out a bit more later on.
All right.
I do want to say that if she's probably ported in Fanewick before, because it looks like it's a major.
It's gonna be a major hub, yeah.
Yeah, she's never been to Haven because a floating city with a giant snake skeleton is just too unnatural.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, she's willing to do some crazy ass shit. That is not one of them.
It's a big nope.
So does she think that Noxtrell is in Fanewick? Or
She's
does
not
she think it's
sure. Most of what she knows of Nuts Terrell is from her lover, and she went away a while ago, like a couple years ago. And most of what she knew was like scattered rumors and fables and a legend here, a legend there. It
Okay.
could be in Fanewick, it could be somewhere else entirely. It's mostly just up to you if you want to use it.
Okay. I mean, I probably will. I'll definitely use it because I like the idea. It kind of reminds me of Elder Scrolls. It kind of reminds me of like an elven city, um, just by the name. But uh, do we have? I mean, I don't think Catherine or Katharina. I'll get it. I swear.
Katarina.
Katharina.
Cat.
Thank you.
Just say cat. She's a cat
Katarina.
person. She's cat.
Okay, I'll try. Oh, you know what? I know why. I know why I'm messing this up. It reminds me of Katharina from the game Katharina. Um, that's why it's messing with my head. I keep thinking of it with an E.
I mean, I could go with the non-Greek version because I only had the Greek version because that was the original setting when Goat was DMing.
You could name it whatever you want. If you want to keep that, that's perfectly fine. I will work. And I'm not sure why I'm messing it up this bad because I'm reasonable with names, especially with at least normal English names. I know it's Greek, but we're still using the English language. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get it down, I swear. um so actually since that is technically a Greek name, right? So like is that is she like from like a Greekish city in a way? Or did we
Well,
not
she
really have
was quite literally born at sea, like quite literally.
Okay. So she was always meant for the sea. At least in that regard. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be I'll be here all night. Oh God. What is that name?
Neatria Fritir.
Oh God.
It is Norse.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's an interesting name.
Did.
I'll have to practice that one a couple times.
That's for a book I haven't worked on for like 3 years, so don't even worry about it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did. I love Norse.
I like the lore of Norse mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, lately I've been kind of trying to understand more. Well, actually, technically, I've been looking into the Wild West because I was playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. So I got like I was trying to understand that history a bit more. But before that, I was also looking at history. Or mainly the fantasy of it. Um, kind of like looking into books like Way of Kings or uh Empire of Silence, but that's more of a sci-fi. But it has that Roman mythology hidden in there a little bit. along with like the Will of Many. I actually kind of like that one. That's definitely got like a Romish vibe to it. Anyway, getting off topic.
I mean,
yeah.
I was just gonna say if you were looking into Roman stuff, Nots Terrell, Nots is literally a Roman goddess of night.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Well, I'll be keeping that in mind in the future. Because because I've been wanting to try. I wish I was able to play because I had a character lined up that was he was kind of gonna be like a Romanish type character as a sylph, which we'll see. We'll see if he plays an NPC role at least, or maybe even an adversary. That'd be cool.
Aw.
At least they wouldn't like waste his potential. So, just to make sure I write this correctly, Toph and Blitz are mainly they are at Fanewick. I think we were kind of it was more of a group conversation, but like it of them kind of surveying Fanewick, or is it um that they're just from there? Do we have firm idea?
I have no idea what Fanewick is yet.
That's
Isn't
In
it
the
the
back,
region?
I was like,
It's okay. Fanewick is the corrupted lands. It's technically going to be um the like hub of most of the scenarios because it's the most volatile of corruption with the withered like the withered corruption. That's where
okay.
it's primarily taking place. And there is some like inhabitants that live within the Fanewick. That are um they're not really afflicted by the curse, but they're aware of the disease that is plaguing the land, which the disease is a serpent sickness. And the serpent sickness is essentially just like first victims cough up dust and then soon after their skin breaks out in scaling rash, finally their body hardens, essentially they crystallize in a way and they kind of just turn into dust because of that.
Very slow petrification.
Yep, yeah, petrification. I love it.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Homoification.
There was a movie in like the 90s that was like there was a virus spreading from computers to people that calcified them. And it freaked me out when I was a kid.
Huh. It, you know what it reminds me of? Unironically, Final Fantasy 13. With the
Yep.
whole Lucille thing.
We don't
Oh,
speak of 13 that much.
you know what? I liked it. Okay, it was okay. It was a good game. I swear. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for so many Final Fantasies tonight. I'm just a huge fan, even though like I've beaten a handful of them, but like I've tried every single one of them. But yeah. Do we have any lingering questions? Anybody?
No, not at the moment. Now that I understand, like a little bit, like I'm reading over the Witherwind thing again to try and refresh. I'll start filling out my backstory a little bit more to see if, for like many additional motivations that my character might need. But so we're starting in Haven, right? Me and who else? Is it Toph or is it?
It's Dawn, and
Um,
I do.
Well, I need to make some notes in the general chat about placement and connections, just so we can refresh my memory over the next 3 weeks, and that way I can finish fledging this out a little bit. But I think I'm good for now.
I would put it in party notes. That way it doesn't get lost.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend. Well, I'll recommend Threads, but do it how you will. If you finish your backstory, I would love to see it in there, so that way I can kind of reference it.
Yeah, Threads makes the most sense, probably.
Yeah, it's
well, I don't know, but
while I'm thinking about it, Sats for scripts, one of the people who trained me in swordsmanship was a what was her name? A Simeon named, once this loads, 1 second. Namia. Would you say that they might have recommended you to me, or like you would know them, or?
I sort of envision my character is that I'm from a specific lineage of the Knowledgeborn, that teach in a specific way, like or have a different approach to the way that we access our powers, or whatever the case is. So maybe that person doesn't know of me specifically, like maybe we have never met, but they know of my like family lineage, and we're like the keeper of this particular variant and whatever we might need to fit for your character. And so they're like, go look for like, and maybe it's like a lineage thing where like like kind of like in Lord of the Rings, where all the names are similar in the families, and so it's maybe my father's name was Stib or something like that, and so there's like a delineation of the names down the line, and so you're looking for whatever my current place in that order is, and they told you to seek me out that way.
Okay.
We can brainstorm on that over the next 2 or 3 weeks, talk it over, figure out what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I need to take some time to kind of like absorb everything, to kind of like get those ideas in. And
Yeah, I'm so excited for session 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be good. So I'm gonna
For
list who is where. So we're gonna do Fainwick. I have down Katharina, Baron, no, Toph, and Blitz. Those are who are in Fainwick, and then Haven. Um. Snibs and Dawn. I'm still kind of weary about that one because I don't want you guys to be like so far away. I kind of wonder if I don't know.
Like if we're gonna be, I don't know how the distance difference is between, I've read over the little brief here, right? And
Mhm.
so I know Haven's the ones, kind of overrunning the Fanewick lands, right, or trying to expand into it. So I'm imagining they're relatively close by to each other. Um, um,
The
because they're trying to expand into that area, as this text suggests.
Mhm.
But if that's kind of like the the haven, quote unquote, of
Right.
of the of that particular side of the coin, we'd have to figure out why I'm actually there. Um, I know there's
Right.
like wizard schools there and stuff that maybe I'm teaching at or visiting to. Maybe I'm visiting something. I don't know. We'll have to figure that part out, and then the travel time. If we're going to try and get connected within a session or session one, how we sort that out distance wise.
Because I.
Me and sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Me and Blitz, because we had noticed something wrong, we could be traveling to Haven in search of answers.
Yeah, something like that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. Um.
One thing I wanted to ask is like, would Don already know what's going on because of having grown up in Fanewick and knowing about the what is it?
Oh. Okay. So. You know what? That could be who we're searching for. Dawn is searching for Snips, and she heard that he's in Haven, but hasn't actually been there just yet. That could be a lead way into the segment, and she probably knows. There is one thing in here that I keep glancing at, and I'm like, I wonder if this would work. It says the Godless Gate, right? Um, I wonder if there's actually like a specific shrine or a legitimate like uh gate that through specific magical rituals can be opened up to Haven. And only someone with the not like the right school of knowledge can open it. That actually might be a reasonable um answer to that.
I just have an image of Goku running down Snake Way in my head.
Oh my god. I love it. Okay, so I think we kind of have our scenario. Um so in that case, I'm gonna actually put Dawn um in Faintwick. This is like in accordance to session one. Um that way I have an idea of who's present and then like who's gonna be the catalyst to what. Um okay. So
And then like for session 1, you could maybe like start off with like Toph and Blitz witnessing,
You did-
some of the corruption happening around them, kind of
Yeah.
dealing with them two at the start, and then like transition to like another pair, like maybe me and Katarina. What's happening with us? Spend a couple of minutes with us and what's going on with us, and then transition to Snibs and Nardon, and kind of keep doing that until we all kind of merge together.
Okay. It was funny. The original idea with the at first I was gonna say orcs, but the more I saw like at the ribbits, right? I was almost wanting to be like you're greeted by ribbits. I'm like, hello, friend. And just um uh just wondering who you are, what you're doing. Um and like why you're shipwrecked, and like lead into that. Um
I don't
I
know. Why don't you
think
ask the bloody
though
ship that is fucking sunk while we shipwrecked?
I can see it working out that way. But I also see your point though. We could just pan it off into 3 different scenarios like that. Um I
Just
know
an
that can
idea.
be a little jarring sometimes though. Um the only reason I say that is just because whenever I split up the party like that, it kind of um it seemed a bit sluggish. However, in this sort of scenario, I could try it.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll think on
I think
that
it'll be
more.
fun. I think it could be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So this is what I'm gonna do. Um, I'm gonna end the session. Um, we got kind of everything covered with relations, with who we are. Everyone's introduced each other. I if you guys can change your Discord name to your character name. I know some of you have already done that. Um, that way we can uh, I can easily reference you there, along with uh, Roll20. That would just it'd be great.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, yeah, I think we got all of our bases covered for session 1. Um, I uh, we have our first session July 8th, the same time, and from then on it'll be just every 2 weeks.
Awesome.
If you
Sounds
have
good.
any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I I will give you a reply pretty quickly. Um, if there's something you want me to add into it, um, yeah, anything, um, anything you want to see happen, let me know so that we can kind of include it. Um, it may not happen right away, but it'll definitely be a talking point.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
do we know what this island here is?
Floating island.
No, it is unknown. Did
Land
you
not
want
included in the sim?
to?
I was
A
just
lot.
thinking where.
So like a lot of this is not named. Um,
Hmm.
it's actually genuinely a blank map. Um,
Ah,
So you
Oh
can
wow.
kind of plop stuff where you want
Wait,
it.
so
yeah.
in
Yeah.
that backstory I had wrote, where me and Blitz are from is the Glumroot Mire. Would you want to name one of those places that? Maybe a little closer to Haven?
I mean, if it's a mire, it's probably someplace around here, because that's
Yeah.
got a lot of water.
Yeah.
Though, can I just say that my family's from that island and figure out a name for you later?
Yeah. That would
Cool.
work. Yeah, and if you if you want, you can message me or put in party notes. And then I'll also include in my notes. I gotta spruce it up a bit too. So that way I can at least organize it better. Kind of just made sure to write things down, and then hopefully I got everything, but there is going to be some things that I probably glossed over or missed. If that happens, feel free to let me know if I missed something. I think we got all the bases though.
Alrighty.
So yeah, if there isn't any more questions, you're free to fly.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Actually,
Katarina, I'll get with you on those details later on this week.
Then,
Mhm.
Are you on Roll20 right now?
I am on Roll20.
Okay. Do you think that would be a good place for Glumroot Mire?
We can make it.
Thinking
Yeah.
it.
Looks very miry to me.
Yeah. And I don't know where on this map the other places.
Fanewick.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to mess with this myself.
Maybe south of that river. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
It could.
Like,
And there's definitely there's a shoreline right there, so that could lead
so
into it.
that would get me a little bit closer, get us a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
And it would tie the backstory in.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Cool.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to work with this map. I kind of like this one.
Yeah, it's very nice that it's pretty blank and open for interpretation and customization.
So I'll yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Alrighty.
This is going to be so much fun. We got such a fun group of people here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast.
Absolutely, dude. I don't think I've been this excited for a campaign in a while.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad to have you all. Thanks for trusting me.
All right, well, I do have to get to bed, so I will talk to
me
y'all.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good night.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night. See y'all.
Yep.